Toronto, what I call Toronto, this is something we started doing in 2018. And part of it was because of the slot we got. Hank Beatty had a good another slot named Kate Eddington. And the kid actually came up to me. And again, this is talking about I've tried a lot of things that haven't worked. I love this. Um, this is something. He said, man, what about Canadian football? I was like, well, you can't they can motion towards the line. And he says, well, we're on the word hike, you can get going. And now you got a full steam start. And I thought, that's not a terrible idea. I said, let's kind of try it. So the benefits of this, in my opinion, are a few things. Number one, it hits faster than a bubble. A bubble, when you're backpedaling, you're going towards the sidelines, you're cutting. You got to get outside and then cut back. There's a different pace that hits the bubble compared to this, and how fast this hits with the guy this far back. So I think it hits the defenders, and I know it hits quicker than a bubble and a now. And the evolution of this is the first one you're going to see is we kind of did it as a gimmick play, empty. The quarterback had options, and then we started doing it as one of our quick screens, like a triple. Now, what we don't do is triple option it as much. We have done a little bit messed with it, but it's more pre-snap, post-snap off the running game. But at first, this was just a kind of a gimmick play, and I'll show you. So, man, this at practice, we're usually about 6 yards back, and the receiver's way back here. And we basically had a diamond. He could throw the quick screen, he could throw the hitch or the go, or he can run quarterback draw. So basically, we're cutting the field into thirds in this play. But how we practice this, man, and Hank was pretty fast here. This guy back here, he's probably legit 4.5 kind of speed guy. And we don't have many of those, but he was one of them. And he was about 15 yards back. So we learned in practice, we want him to catch the ball right barely in front of the quarterback. And so that was about his timing. Some kids are 13 to 12 yards. I would say 15 is the limit. But we want to catch this ball right in front of the quarterback. But what happens here is Hank gets a full steam ahead, and it hits just so much quicker. Now, the things don't change. The numbers don't change. We have three receiver. Who's the fourth most dangerous? We can get these three guys blocked. It's probably this guy and this guy. So he knows pre-snap, hey, I like this. I'm going to take it. But now it allows our receivers to get into their block a little bit quicker. And it also allows Hank, our slot receiver, to make a more athletic move on the run. Where bubble, you're kind of hey, now the great ones, they get going from 0 to 100 a little, some of them a little quicker. And Hank could do that. But this was, man, he's going about 80%. Obviously 70% and on the run up, and as that ball comes and he catches it, then he's exploding to 100. Now we do a thing where we put one of our linemen out there. We go 4 linemen, but same concept. Hey, do we want to hit the quick screen, the Toronto? Do we want to hit the quarterback draw here? Do we want to hit the hitch go to the single side? Now, to the wide side, I will say this is tougher. So what we try to do is get it on about the hash. So this quarterback a lot of times is throwing from hash to hash. Even we're going the wide side. Short side, which we evolved. At first, we didn't do it this first year. In 2019, we started doing it to the short side and almost like it better, especially out with the run game. Like I said, this was the first year, and this was kind of a gimmick thing with this concept and these plays. But you can see they did a good job. And I thought it would take longer to time this up and practice than it did. But you can see he is catching it right in front. So, man, if for some reason they dropped it, it's a fumble. It's not a fumble. But you don't want to get too close to the line of scrimmage. And, again, this is where we practice. There's only 2 or 3 guys I'd let go back there and run this on the team. So our timing is really good, and they can really practice it. I just don't let anybody do it. So we practiced it, and like I said, it was quicker than I thought. The process of kind of mastering it, because I'd say now in probably 6 or 7 years, and probably the biggest disaster was in the state championship this year, and that was going to be a double pass, so it was meant to be behind, but we fumbled the ball and lost it. We've probably, I bet we're less than 10%, even maybe less than 5% incompletion rate on this play. And a lot of times, if you don't, it goes out of bounds. But the big thing is you don't want to throw it behind. So this was the COVID year. We started doing it, but we started doing it with the running game a lot. And so we started meshing it just like our quick screens so he can look. And again, this is pre-snap, post-snap. And we started meshing it with our run game, just not as a gimmick play. And so what happens is we got this. We're looking at the outside backer DN. Once he realizes we're good, he spits it out. Outside receiver, just like Bubble. He finds the most dangerous, but now he can be a little bit more aggressive into the block. Now he was not there, but you get the point that Hank, we got him the ball full speed on the run, and it's obviously harder to tackle. It's easier for him to break because he's hitting that thing full speed. Here's one sometimes we just stack over there and we'll Toronto to the short side. And again, I like Toronto to the short side, a little bit easier to pass. Hits a little bit quicker. Outside receiver does a good job. Now, pre-snap, this was a bad decision, right? We got two out there. We probably should run the football. I like not going out there, right? We're 3-on-2. Here we're kind of 2.5, 2-on-2. He could have ran the football, did either one here. And it wasn't a terrible decision, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say, when I told him probably next day, I said, I probably would have handed it off or, made sure it was there, and it wasn't. Same thing, we got a power yo-yo. So now, hey, we got all the first level blocks, so he knows he can go post-snap to the second level guy. Two receivers, you can't even see the other receiver, so the next most dangerous is probably him and him. Both of them are inside, so he knows if this linebacker gets his eyes and he comes into the run game, we can spit it out. And that guy probably is a C-gap player. He stays out. Man, we run it. Obviously a big hole, but we get that guy out of the box. And again, by them being stacked, by them being so far back, it puts pressure on this outside linebacker right here. What's he going to do? Is he going to be in the run? Is he going to be in the pass? Now we stack both those guys. Love it in the middle of the field. When we are in the middle of the field, we'll stack both sides. Now the beauty about this is we run quarterback GT. We get both outside backers. They're kind of a 4-3 team. Run the ball, right? You get that guy out, and then that was our playmaker, was the quarterback. Easy quarterback counter play. This guy was just far enough out. This guy sneaked out right on the word hike. And so, it's cloudy on both sides. Pre-snap. Let's run the ball.